Lyle, EQUALETTA BLITZ could get your Wednesday night off to a very good start. Comes into the race in excellent form, having won his last couple.
Yeah, I really hope so. He obviously found his way towards the end of last season and got a lot of confidence from those wins. And from what I felt back at home, he's really continued that rich vein of form. He's doing very well, and I'm looking forward to being aboard him again.
Talk me through his trial, because that was very impressive. I mean, was it a case of him being very impressive, or was it a case of perhaps, the others not showing as much? What was your feel on it?
Well, look, I mean, obviously he is upper class to most of those that he took on in his trial, and he's very quick. And the first part of the trial, the first furlong was pretty slow, and then he got on the bridle and sort of showed his speed. So it probably did flatter him, but I can tell you from on top, it felt good too. And that's what I'll reiterate, is that he's just maintained that form coming into the season, and couldn't be happier in terms of his preparation for a first up run. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I don't want to say it's a lifeline as such, but the handicapper has given him a distinct chance, because he's got a mark of 81, which puts him into Class 2. But this is a 60 to 85 rated race. Career high mark here in Hong Kong now. What's your take on all of that when you sort of boil it down?
Yeah, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I think that's the biggest negative going into this race, is he's got a shoulder 135. He's not the biggest horse, although he's athletic and strong. It's a lot of weight to carry around. But I suppose if you're going to carry it, it'll be over 5 furlongs, so that's good enough. But off a lightweight, when he has to run in Class 2, that could be to his benefit as well. So yeah, the horse is in good form, and hope he can just offset those negatives.
With a couple of confirmed front runners, the likes of Ping Hai Galaxy and Super Axiom, who you actually beat last time, does that give you a lovely toe into the race?
Yeah, he's versatile. I think he's a horse that's more about how he's enjoying his trip throughout the run. He just sort of doesn't want to be forced or broken his stride. So with a bit of speed, it just normally means with a good tempo you can have a good rhythm. And if we get that from our draw into a good position, all things should run smoothly.
Flying on the Turf is going to be your first runner in race number 2. Obviously, you're taking on a tough task, Jamie, because he's not 1 in 20 starts. But how is he, and how has he been leading up to his debut for your stable?
Yeah, the horse looks well. He seems to be eating well and seems to be a happy horse. His work's been good. Trials have been okay. As you say, 20 start maiden here in Hong Kong. But in fairness to him, he's run well enough without sort of saluting. So he's drawn a reasonable gait. He seems to go okay at the Valley, and when he gets onto the all-weather, he might even be a little bit better. But hopefully we've got him forward enough for him to run well, and as long as he's competitive, then he dropped 5 points in the off-season back to Class 5, so hopefully he's at a winnable sort of rating.
You put the tongue tie back on him. Obviously, this will be his first run for your stable. Was there just a thinking that perhaps he needed a little bit of help, perhaps with the wind, that sort of thing?
Most of our horses in New Zealand wore tongue ties. Just another excuse that you don't have. If they suck their tongue back or they make a bit of noise, why not put it on? So that'll be something that's fairly standard for us, that they race in nosebands and tongue ties, just to try and help their breathing and see how it all goes. But yeah, it's something that was fairly common for us at home.
You've got Luke Ferraris on board. You would have been pleased with the way he's been riding of late. He's making a real name for himself here in Hong Kong. Is he one of a team of jockeys that have been helping you out during the sort of the build-up? Yeah,
we've just sort of spread the rides around a little bit at the trials. I think we trialled 10 or 12 horses there, and everyone had a different rider last week. So we're just building relationships and just sort of seeing what the jockeys are saying when they get off them at the trials. And it worked out that Luke could do a couple here on Wednesday night. So we'll spread the rides around, and we'll use the local boys and the expats. So we'll just sort of see what works for each individual horse.
Harry, HZ Tourbillon is a horse that you'll ride with a lightweight on Wednesday night. Comes into the race in very good form.
He does. His first run of the season was extremely promising and only narrowly denied. We were drawn a little bit wide that day, had to just take a seat back, but it was a great run.
Form looks to be working out really well. You split a pair of subsequent winners. Hercules behind you, Winning Icy in front of you again has won, so the form is right there.
Yeah, I mean, Winning Icy looks a horse really on the rise, and the fact that we only just were narrowly beaten by that horse obviously stands us in good stead here today.
You're in gate number 3. Are you happy where you are?
I am very happy, yeah. There looks like there's quite a lot of speed on paper. Could be a little bit of a burn up in front, but the draw's good. Couldn't be happier.
There's always a stat out there, or many will testify, that horses going up in grade here in Hong Kong actually have a better chance than some would believe, perhaps on paper. He's doing just that. The handicap has put him up to 60. He's run some good races off of 61 in the past. Are you happy with him going up in grade?
I am actually, because he's not a very big horse,
Right.
and just in Class 4, he's always got that top weight, and you know, for a smaller horse, it's not easy to carry. So the fact that he's only carrying 119 is definitely a positive, and I think that'll definitely help.
Just as an omission, I forgot to mention Perfect Peach ran down the field on that occasion last time as well, so the form's even better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are plenty of horses that came out that race that he was second in, and gone on to either win or run extremely well. So that form is really standing up, and naturally he'll have taken a step on from that first race. So he's going to be extremely competitive.
Pierre, Gang of Brothers is a horse that's very much in form for your stable. Only a second start for him this Wednesday night. You must have been pleased with that run the first time.
Yes, I was very pleased from the first run, and we didn't trial him, so it's more like a trial last run. So this time we drawn a wide gate, but I think he got the speed, and hopefully he beats the gate and perform well again.
Has he come on quite a bit for that first run then, if that's the assessment that it was almost
Yes,
as if it were a prep sort of thing?
His form was definitely better from the last run, so we will hopefully he can carry on and perform well.
You mentioned the gate, obviously you're drawn wide, so obviously you've got a lot of experience in Hong Kong racing, of course. Happy Valley, wide draw, they don't usually go together, do they?
No, they don't usually get that, but for this horse, I think he got a natural speed, and I think he can take that challenge and try to get a win.
He's a Sha Tin winner, Pierre. He's run some very good races here at Happy Valley. Is it just a matter of time before he cracks that first city course win?
Yes, definitely. Of course, Sha Tin has 14 runners and the Valley has 12. He runs a very good first stop, so keep him there and hopefully we'll find it.
And what about for you and the team? You must be happy with the way the horses are running. I mean, you've obviously got that elusive winner, and they continue to race really well, don't they?
Yes, they do. For the first two start, they run pretty well. And at this time, we just have to think about the horses not getting the prize money.
Just finally, good old Duke Wai. He's done a good job so far. That was a
Yes.
really pleasing run last time.
Yeah, last start he raced a bit keen in the early stage, and then that's why he didn't finish off pretty well. So I think he's the best distance is 1200, and we'll aim for it and aim for the Group 2, and then hopefully he get the tickets into the internationals.
Jamie, Rattan Kingdom in the last race. Should a couple of your earlier runners not oblige, you've got to wait till the very last and 9th race. He looks an interesting horse coming into this race, and talk me through his recent trials, because they've looked rather impressive too.
Yeah, trials have been good. Been happy with the way that he's been performing at the trials. He arrived in good order. He hasn't taken too much work. His trial at Happy Valley with the blinkers on, he travelled strong. He didn't have a lot of room. Just finished in behind them, never really came off the bridle. So he's going to race in the blinkers. 1200 might be a touch short of his best, but it's a good starting point for him. And you know, hopefully he goes into the race with a chance.
You gave him a couple of trials. Obviously, the one at Sha Tin looked very good. I mean, was it always the plan to get that Happy Valley trial into him, do you think?
Yeah, he's a horse that's a little bit scratchy in his action in the mornings, and just sort of learning as we go. You know, a few people said there's a bit more give it Happy Valley, and it might suit the horse. So he'd raced there before he came to us, and he trialled there well. So happy to go back and give him a chance around the circuit.
You've got the Brazilian Ruben Meyer on board. Obviously, he knows the horse quite well. Has he been pleased with what he's felt? He's
been pleased with his trials. He hasn't galloped them, but we just sort of leave the riding boys on to gallop them, and everything sort of seems to be going to plan with them. But like the other two, they're not screwed right down. They're ready to run well, but you know, in the next couple of starts they should continue to improve. So hopefully we've got them forward enough to run well and be competitive.
I guess obviously good runs are certainly what's required, as you say. But I guess if you could get that win early doors, that would be quite special and be a great starting point, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's been quite a few people that have said make sure you try and hit the ground running. So we've taken our time, and the horses go to the races in good form, and if they win, that's great. If they don't, you know, they should run well second up. But it's in the lap of the gods now. Can't do much more.
Just finally, Jamie, you seem like a very cool sort of customer. Have you felt any pressure leading up to Wednesday night?
Not yet, but probably Wednesday lunchtime I might get a bit toey. But it's all part of it. Horses are horses, and once you think you've done enough with them, you can't do much more. So it's up to them now, and the boys on top of them.